Do what thou will be the whole piece of law.
So I kind of want to explain something. Originally, if you're one of my personal friends, I have been marketing this as a video about FDR and other things surrounding that. However, currently it is 1:14 in the morning on Thursday. So I forgot that World War II and Pearl Harbor are events that people care a lot about. So that's not something that I can just throw together a video in like 5 seconds on and that I'd be happy with. And this is also me looking through my box of ideas, looking for one that I feel comfortable covering in basically 15 minutes. I don't want this video to be too long. And, well, because I had a trip and a lot of stuff happened on that trip and I got behind, so I wanted to think of something fun that I could do to like get myself back on track, keep myself in the schedule of hopefully producing long-form content every other week. If that sounds good to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's great to have you around. Helps my analytics. Help a brother out, okay? I'm not asking for money. Just hit a button. But for that fun idea, I thought to myself, because I heard a coworker talking about Robert F. Kennedy. Now, why would Robert F. Kennedy be interesting? Well, because I watched a video on the older Robert Kennedy Jr., the one that we currently know, the one who's sitting in the FDA or something like that. No, I'm talking about Bobbert Kennedy, not Robert freaking Kennedy Jr., the guy you probably know. I'm talking about Bobby freaking Kennedy, the guy who is that guy's father. And I mainly wanted to talk about the mystery surrounding his death. It's the lesser known Kennedy conspiracy. People don't talk about it as much as JFK. So, to keep a video short and to keep a video snappy, I wanted to see if I could do one of those little gimmick videos. So, Robert Kennedy, on his presidential campaign run, had a speech that he gave at the Ambassador Hotel. This speech took place from 12:02 to 12:10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and explain everything that I know about RFK, the original, from memory, because I'm a big history buff. So I'm going to try and do this all from memory. Everything. Like, nothing is barred. I want to go into the crazy stuff around his death. I want to go into his life, because it's a Kennedy life. It's very full. But I also don't want to make a full video on RFK. But if you want to see it, I'll do it. He's another one of those very interesting people that you can get lost in. So, just real fast. So, I have a timer set for 8 minutes. When that goes off, it's going to be the end of RFK and it's going to be the end of me. Well, figuratively. I'll walk you out, give my last thoughts, but meat of the video is going to be 8 minutes. So, put it up on screen. 3, 2, 1. Robert freaking Kennedy Jr. was born on November 20th, 1925. This was a great scourge upon the world, but mainly on the Kennedy family. The Kennedy family was very, very big, and RFK was considered the runt of the litter. This was when the Kennedys weren't an established political family yet. He grew up in a solidly middle-class household. His dad got super lucky investing in a bunch of, like mutual funds, or like he shorted stocks or something. It was a stock market type deal. His dad got super rich, set up like trust funds and other things for all his kids, and he went into politics, of course, as any good man with money does. So, after RFK's dad goes into politics, he is right in the middle of school. This is like early primary school age, and he doesn't really do much in his schooling career. He does the thing that everyone nowadays does, where he goes in and gets a job and he's like, man, this kind of sucks. I'm sick of the drudgery. I don't want to do this anymore. So he does the male equivalent of being a stripper and goes into the services. Which one do you think he chooses? Well, the same one that every single Kennedy chooses, which is the Navy. He goes into the Navy. He has a brief stint there, and I believe one of his brothers gets killed in action. It's depressing, and he like moves to transfer to the boat that gets his brother's name. But he doesn't really stick around. It's mainly just I have served in the Navy, so that'll help me out in some way type deal. Because it seems like RFK, and when I say RFK, I mean Bobby Kennedy, not Robert freaking Kennedy, the one who's in FDA right now. So just that going forward. I don't know why I'm using my 8 minutes on this. He then does, what anyone does when they get out of the military, redeem their GI Bill, go to college. He goes for law, just like another guy that I know a lot about. And he goes to University of Virginia. Shout out to University of Virginia. He worked like for a stint in a newspaper, but the reason why the newspaper thing is so relevant is because before like anyone is actually in on the deal of, a Israeli state, he's basically already saying that this should be the thing because he's witnessing a lot of the things that reporters do, and he's doing a lot of things that reporters do, which is social activism. He's going to be really into social activism. He's a big civil rights guy, just like his brother was, and he goes into the Senate. He works with McCarthy during the second Red Scare. That big Senator Joseph McCarthy, the guy who's like, oh, I got a list and all you guys are on it, and that gets him politically assassinated, but he manages to stay out of trouble, and he's on a bunch of different Senate committees, and he also helps his brother a lot, mainly during his presidential campaign, and he's also a back channel for the Soviets in the Cuban Missile Crisis. He effectively helps John survive the Cuban Missile Crisis. It's so understated how much Bob just helps his brother during that time. It's so, so helpful. He writes a book about it. I forget what it is, but it's up on screen. He then is appointed by his brother as the Attorney General. And of course, the way JFK goes, he'll serve his time after his brother leaves the scene, and LBJ comes in, serves his time as Attorney General, and when LBJ re-wins the election, before LBJ wins, Robert basically goes to him and says, hey, can I be your VP? And Lyndon B. Johnson, for some reason, he just completely bullies Robert out of ever getting the vice presidential gig. So he appears before the DNC and basically he has this great big standing ovation before he's forced to not be considered, and LBJ gets like a ton of backlash for this. He's also, like, during his political career, like a super big union buster, and he gets around a lot. Goes to like Berlin, I believe he goes to Cuba. He is very involved in American manufacturing, and so instead of becoming the vice president, he becomes a senator. He advocates for all these liberal policies like gun control, civil rights. This is the big period of civil rights, and he wants to continue his brother's wishes. So as he continues, he, LBJ's Great Society, he works under LBJ's Great Society. He really meshes well with all these democratic policies. He's effectively just a smaller JFK. They really agree on a lot of things, and it's super easy to just say they have the same political platform, because a lot of the Kennedys do. And he then runs for president, and this is where a lot of, what I've been building up to happens, because as we draw near the end of this metaphorical speech, he's doing really well. And for a lot of people, this is a bad thing, because RFK doing well is probably just another, JFK, and the powers that be didn't want JFK to be president. Now, when I say powers that be, I mean a lot of things, but I mean more just he wasn't able to be president for the amount of time that he wanted to be. Anyone could have done it. Up to you to decide. But RFK runs for president. He is doing like super duper well. Like, he does so well because he runs on JFK's platform, and it seems like LBJ kind of put it on the back burner, kind of just finished it for all of just like the sake of JFK. And when he is getting the results of the California primary, he gives this 8-minute speech basically saying, wow, we're going to make it all the way to Washington, and he takes a route that his bodyguard doesn't want him to, and some guy comes out of the crowd, he's like a pro-Palestinian activist, and kills him. Now, there are a bunch of different theories, like there's the woman in the polka dot dress There's like, you know, the classic, oh, the CIA did it. You know, there's then there's, you know, the two gunmen's theory and like various different forms where like there was a security guard, and there's also like hypnosis involved, and when this guy like Sion, I think his name is, he's still like in custody today because like this still has happened like super duper recently, and after all of these like conspiracy theories are involved, like he manages to hit Kennedy like 3 different times, and he has this like wounds 5 other people, and he's like, oh yeah, I did this for like the constant liberation of Palestine or some other thing. He's like, oh, I stood in 22 years of hatred, or like some super metal quote, and Kennedy was ferried over to a hospital, but it was like completely pointless because he was basically dead at the scene, but they like put so much effort into trying to save him, and he almost made it, but he just didn't, and then they had his funeral like someday like super close to, it's just okay, so there you go, my unscripted historical vomit fest. I don't know if you found that interesting. I don't know if you want a full video on RFK, but I got inspiration to do it because I watched a really good RFK documentary. I don't remember what it is, but it's in my watch history. It's up on screen. So if a deeper dive into Bobbert freaking Kennedy sounds good, leave a comment about it and subscribe. I mean, if you made it this far and you want to listen to me rant, you're probably my target audience, or you just skip to the end because you want a free giveaway that I'm not doing. But yeah, this is a shorter video. The main reason why I'm not doing topics that I want to do, per se, quote unquote. I love doing every topic that I do, even this one, because I came up with a little fun challenge during the workday. It's because the topics that I want to dedicate more time to, I never have time to do. Most likely the next Francis E. Deck video is going to be, I don't want to say shorter, but it's going to be a little more scatterbrained than usual. Mainly because I've been spending my weekends to go on vacation, but that's a bunch of other stuff. Just know I'm not going anywhere. Okay, I'll keep uploading weekly. I'm done with like the short videos. Those weren't really doing it for me. They didn't really pull in the views. It was mainly just to keep, you know, my channel stagnant. But I don't need stagnancy. I need growth, right? Right, baby? Infinite growth, capitalism. No, cut that out. I hate the C word. Anyway, your viewing's much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.